After I played After the Fall, I got in touch with Vertigo Games once again to take a look at another Fisherman's Tale. This is a puzzle game that they've just put out. It came out a couple days ago, so I'm a little late to the party, but I wanted to cover it in a video because this game caught my attention. It's not something I'd usually want to play, but there are a lot of good things about it and a couple problems, but really here the good outweighs the bad completely, and it's an amazing adventure, so let's get straight into it. So as I said, Another Fisherman's Tale is a puzzle game, and it's a sequel to A Fisherman's Tale, which released back on PSVR, and is going to get a port later this year. And I've got to be honest, I never played A Fisherman's Tale. However, I've got to say I didn't feel lost playing Another Fisherman's Tale at all. I felt right at home, I knew what was going on the entire way through its 5 chapters, and its admittedly fairly short 4-hour story kept me engaged all the way through without me feeling confused, because the story is fairly simple. You bounce between a fantastical tale with wooden figures basically come to life, and you take on the role of a fisherman. You're out on a search for some treasure and a lost island paradise, and then you flash back to the future where you're the daughter of the person telling these stories, and that's pretty much all I want to say about it. If you don't know much about the story, it's quite heartwarming, it's really nice, and I don't want to spoil too much, but you do flash back and forward, and this allows for the story to kind of branch off into 2 different paths while keeping them connected and offering different perspectives on what's actually happening in the narrative. I felt that that was one of my favourite parts of this game, was its narrative was split off but conjoined in a very interesting and unique way. This doesn't just cover the story either, it actually covers the visuals, because you flash back to present and you see, you know, a dingy basement that looks like this, where you're packing up old boxes with figures in them, and then throughout the levels you see this basement as a figure yourself. You see it in huge scale, and there is a story reason for this, but overall the impressiveness of that scale was absolutely nuts. So I'm a big fan of the perspective this game pulls off. That is what VR is good at, and this game showcases it perfectly.
All the always had a little secret trap door somewhere, didn't they? No wonder you always escaped from stories.
Shh, little shipmate. We're trying to escape, remember?
Oh my god. But the main gameplay loop is puzzles, and I'm not a big puzzle fan aside from a couple games like Little Nightmares and Inside. I don't like puzzle games at all, and I did feel a little lost with some of the puzzles on this one, especially one involving some hands that you have to get through a security door. That one had me baffled, and I only completed it out of sheer coincidence after trying for 30 minutes. I am just gonna keep trying things until they maybe work. And whether they work or not is not up to me. Oh my god. But apart from that, I wasn't too challenged by many of the other puzzles in the game. I just found them engaging and fun to do, and they feel rewarding. There are a couple issues relating to controls with some of the puzzles, but I'll get onto those later when I talk about controls and mechanics. The character you control has detachable arms and legs because he is a figure, so you can launch your head and your hands to kind of explore the map and find different vantage points and solve puzzles. I found this to be a really neat idea. In practice, it is a little motion sickening. I am a VR veteran, I would say. I've been playing VR for about 6 years, and even flying around on Pavlov or Walkabout Minigolf doesn't make me feel sick at all, but some of these moments did, just because the movement feels a little janky when controlling the main body or launching your head. But full locomotion is something that I think is new to this game, if I remember right, and that works, to be honest, as a first attempt for this game, fine. It works fine. It's doable, you're not going to feel too sick. It's only when you're launching your head about and kind of having those moments that you might get a little bit motion sick. This is quite a full-on game in terms of what it's doing with your head, and it also has haptics in these moments, so maybe go with teleport movement if you're newer to VR with this one. Speaking of the teleport feature, it is too easily triggered, unfortunately. I felt that it was very sensitive. I'd accidentally teleport around and disorient myself, and I think that didn't help with the motion sickness, is that I accidentally hit the stick forward and I'd teleport somewhere random and I wouldn't really know where I was, and that was a little disconcerting at times. But apart from that, movement is pretty decent when you're in the main body. The subtitles for the game as well are weirdly always there. It kind of adds to the adventure book aesthetic of the game that the environmental art direction also supports, but it would be nice to be able to turn those off to get a kind of a cleaner visual and image, because it did break the immersion a little bit when I was trying to just immerse myself in the worlds around me. However, it's not a big deal breaker. What almost was the hand movement controls when you detach your hand, especially underwater. Because in various puzzles you detach your hands and launch them about, and you hold the trigger and point your hand where you want it to kind of crawl and go, or in the water it swims. And on paper this is a cool mechanic, and in some cases it works as intended. It is very cool and I do like it, but it led to a lot of frustrating moments that, to be honest, I could have gone without. And I felt that sometimes it just didn't really follow the direction of my hand, that, you know, where it was pointing. But for the most part, it worked okay. It was just a little bit annoying at times, but you can get over it. I think I'm gonna have an aneurysm in a minute. Please, just fucking... okay. Anyway, I feel like I'm ragging on this game too much with those last couple points because I kind of front-loaded all of my good points at the start, but essentially, another Fisherman's Tale, I mean, it's a lovely tale. It's a really nice story compacted into 4 hours. For the price, I would say that's fair for a VR game. If you're used to flat-screen games lasting longer, this is not going to really be up there in terms of playtime. Again, you could replay it, but this is a puzzle game, so unless you're going for maybe a speed run with this, you're going to know what the puzzles are and you're going to be able to get through them fairly quickly. But overall, the story was great. The mechanics were really fun, especially the hand mechanics when you attach different items to your hands. That is an awesome feature to get around the map and solve puzzles. You can replace your hands with a claw or a control for a massive claw arm or a hook to traverse around the map. To me, very much throughout the entire playtime. If you liked A Fisherman's Tale on PSVR 1, I have a feeling this is going to be an upgrade in all departments, visually and in gameplay. For me, its visuals were good enough to keep me going. It doesn't have the sharpest clarity. There is a little bit of aliasing around different objects in the distance and on big objects, but to be honest, if your personal experience is maybe with standalone Quest or PSVR 1, this is going to look great. It really does. And the art direction carries it a long way. So I would recommend another Fisherman's Tale. I had a lot of fun with this game, similar to Jurassic World Aftermath. It was a fun little ride, I really enjoyed it, and personally, even if it was on sale for a couple of pounds off, I would definitely consider picking it up. If you enjoy this type of puzzle game, especially in VR, you're going to have a fun time with this. Anyway, thank you all for watching, I hope you did enjoy. These are my impressions on another Fisherman's Tale after completing the game. If you did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.